So every year I make a list of intentions to guide me on how I want to live, what I want to achieve, and how I can work on those reoccurring patterns or obstacles that keep me stuck in life. It's less about the specific goals like hitting those revenue targets that I've set for the year or growing to a certain amount of subscribers, but more about my personal growth and aligning my life with my values. And I call these intentions rather than resolutions because they're not rigid set of rules or things that I need to fix about myself. They're more flexible and they give me a sense of direction rather than a specific destination that I need to get to. Most of these resolutions or intentions won't be resolved in a year. It's more likely a lifetime practice, but each step that I take, I feel like it will bring me more growth and ease and alignment in my life. So setting intentions for this year feels especially crucial as I embark on a new chapter settling back in Sydney after 7 years of a nomadic spiritual journey around the world. And if you want to learn more about that or hear more about that, you can check out the video here. So currently I'm reinventing my life. I'm building my business and career as an impact filmmaker and working towards financial freedom, all while trying to stay true to my purpose. So stability is a key focus for me right now, and these intentions will help anchor me so I don't get lost, which, by the way, getting lost isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes we do need to get lost so we can find ourselves again, but that's a topic for another day. As I was working through my intentions for the year, I thought, you know what, why not share them, as some of these might resonate with you, especially if you're on a similar path. And if you haven't done so already, maybe these will inspire you to work on your own intentions for the year. Each intention could be its own video, but for now, I'm just going to keep it brief so you can reflect on what these might mean for you. The first one is patience. Learning patience was one of my biggest lessons last year, which I intend to bring into this year front and center. For me, as I'm building out my new life, it's about being okay with how long things take and trusting the natural cycle of things without trying to force anything to happen prematurely. And I found that practicing patience has helped me release so much pressure and stress in my life as I venture into this new chapter. The next intention is about slowing down. While patience is more on a philosophical level and something that would take longer to embody, slowing down is something that I can actively practice in any and every moment. So when I'm feeling stressed or when I'm feeling anxious, I will intentionally slow down. And I feel that it immediately brings a sense of ease and reassurance that everything's going to be okay and I will achieve all that I set out to do. This year, I want to give more than I take. My production company, Studio Soul, is already heavily focused on working with nonprofits and doing pro bono work. However, this year I want to explore volunteering opportunities outside of filmmaking so I can expand the ways I can be in service of others. And the next intention is about simplifying my life. I tend to overthink things, I tend to overcomplicate things, which can make life more difficult than what it needs to be. And it usually takes me away from where I intend to go. So the intention of simplicity is about cutting out what no longer serves me, whether they're habits or commitments or distractions, so I can create more space for the things that truly fuel me, like doing creative work or doing things that look after my well-being. I have a hard time seeing myself, which I'm sure most of you guys probably do. I have a habit of knocking myself down with self-talk that's unkind. So this year I want to be more loving to myself so I can see and embrace myself for who I am. And whenever I'm feeling inadequate or talking to myself unlovingly, I'm just going to start practicing accepting who I am, embracing that this is what makes me unique and I can love myself for it. So, for example, with what I was just saying about being overly complicated or I tend to overthink things, I've come to realize that this complexity and this sensitivity of mine, they are part of who I am and they're just gifts that enable me to do what I do and it makes me uniquely me. So I'm just gonna embrace that. The next intention is surrendering to loneliness. This path of following our dreams and being convicted to our purpose can feel isolating. It's not a journey that most people can relate to. And in order to travel this path, I find that we often need to go deep into ourselves, inwards into ourselves. And this just cuts us off even more with the outside world. So if you're like me, trying to build a purposeful life or just transitioning into a new phase of life, I've found that it's taken a lot of energy and it doesn't leave much bandwidth for socializing, which can lead to even more loneliness. But I'm learning now just to sit with this feeling when it arises and just allowing it instead of pushing it away and accepting that this is where I'm supposed to be right now and trust that it's not going to be forever and know that it's just something I need to pass through right now in order to get to where I want to be. I tend to take things personally. This is something that I've been working on all my life, and it's something that I've been doing all my life. And it's a difficult one for me. So this year, I'm going to continue on this journey of just letting things go if they trigger me. And because I've learned that 99% of the things that happen to me or happen around me has nothing to do with me. And lastly, I guess if you guys have watched this far already, especially if you're creative, you can probably relate to the need to having things perfect in order to be okay. So this year I'm going to continue practicing just throwing things out there, and even if they're not perfect, and letting things be what it is. And from that place, believe that I can learn and refine as I go, making the journey much less stressful and enjoying the process along the way. A good example is making these YouTube videos. I think it's taken me years to start this channel because I was paralyzed with perfectionism. So now I'm just gonna take those little steps to get these videos to a point where I'm relatively happy with it and just get it live without overthinking it or making it perfect. So that's it. These are my intentions for the year. These intentions will guide me as I navigate this new chapter. I hope they may resonate with you as well, or at least inspire you to reflect on your own intentions. And remember, intentions are personal. What works for me may not work for you, but the process of reflecting and setting your own intentions and direction for the year is really what matters. So if any of these topics has spoken to you, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your thoughts or your intentions ahead, and stay tuned as I'll dive deeper in some of these themes in future videos. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.